When you're blue and kinda lonely too, you'll find a smile will go a long, long way. Though you're down, don't sit around and frown. A little smile will go a long, long way. Never grieve, just try to make believe the sky is blue, although you know it's gray. Don't you find it's just a waste of time? You'll find a smile will go a long, long way.
The rousing adventure, it's Ron and Jen's Great Escape, our attempt to turn the news frowns upside down. We'll begin with reinforcing our 10-star announcement.
10-star.
As we're excited to be heading back to On the Radio every Saturday. It begins on February the 19th, and we will be on WADK in Newport. You can listen on your app. You can listen online, and it's at wadk.com, and a lot more information on that coming along.
Yeah.
But circle the calendar. It's February the 19th. That's Saturdays. We'll be there from 1 to 3.
Mm-hmm.
And
you'll be able to talk to us.
Yes.
That's the thing. And this is what I have said to Ron. I don't know about you guys, but I think that we're all so hungry for just some conversation that doesn't include someone hanging up on you or berating you or embarrassing you or shaming you. Just having conversation.
Or being lectured to.
Yeah, you're hanging out. You're just talking.
It's not our thing.
Yeah, no. Getting it off your chest.
It's not our approach. Our approach is to have a little bit of fun and to engage
a lot
with
of fun.
With poignant conversation.
Are you excited?
I'm very excited.
I'm so psyched.
It's been a while. Great. It's fun. You know, this is great. Isn't this great?
It's so much fun.
So that's our 10-star announcement.
Yes.
And we'll be reinforcing that as we move along towards our target date, which is the weekend after. It's the Saturday following the Super Bowl.
Oh, wow. Speaking of football.
I'm still tired from those games this weekend.
Wasn't that incredible?
It was,
I mean, unbelievable football last weekend. All the games were nuts.
It was incredible, but it was also unconscionable to a point. I'm screaming at the television, get into a prevent defense, will you? Both the Buccaneers and the Bills. I'm like, how can you let these teams get back into position for a game-tying or winning field goal, especially the Bills? 13 seconds left and no timeout left on the clock, and you can't stop those guys from going all the way down?
Well, and that right there, let me just say, that right there is one of the things that a lot of people are screaming about the overtime rule, and they can't stand it, and it's on.
Yeah, you know, I'm hearing so much talk and complaints. I'm seeing it online, and I'm hearing it on the radio about the overtime rule. You know, the first person who scores a touchdown, and that's the end of the game.
If you score a field goal, the other team has the chance to get the ball. But if you score a touchdown, game over.
That's it, fini. And, I mean, here's the thing. And the sports guys today and gals, they're saying, stop them. Stop them. The defense has to show up on those plays. There's a lot of pressure. Obviously, people are exhausted, obviously. But stop them. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, I guess I kind of agree. But then again, I like what Belichick had to say when he was asked how he felt about the overtime, procedures and rules some years ago, and he basically said, you know what we should do? Get rid of all that. Just play 10 minutes. Just 10 minutes of overtime. Boom. That's what he thinks. And I don't know, but I think that they're seriously going to have to consider it. This early spring.
That would certainly eliminate all the arguments.
Yeah.
About field goal and first possession and this, that, and the other thing. Maybe just a nice encapsulated 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
And it's not decided after 10 minutes. Another 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Until it's decided.
Yeah.
So, I don't see anybody stopping the Kansas City Chiefs. Mahomes was just doing whatever he wanted to do. Whatever he wanted to do. But, so was Allen.
I feel Josh Allen's a beast.
He is.
That guy. I hated the Bills when we played them. And now I think anybody could have gotten beaten badly by that team. Those two teams are so far and away of what the Patriots are right now.
They're far and away ahead. Ahead of the NFC too.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Yeah. So I'm really hoping for a Rams and a Kansas City Super Bowl.
I'm not.
Why? I think that would be a great Super Bowl.
I'm rooting for Cincinnati. Because they're the ultimate underdog.
Yeah, but
I'm rooting for Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati can win the Super Bowl if they get there.
I think the
AFC. I think the AFC. No, I don't think they're going to be Kansas City. I'm saying the AFC is far superior to the NFC. I think either of those teams that are playing for the AFC Championship will beat whoever gets to the NFC.
Well, because I don't think the Bengals necessarily won their game. I think Tannehill blew it. I think the Titans lost it. I think they were sloppy and they and 3 turnovers, but whatever. I mean, I know this isn't sports.
3
talk.
interceptions, not turnovers. 3 interceptions. And they might have had more turnovers. I have to go back and take a look. But Tannehill himself had 3 interceptions.
Yeah, well, that's what kind of
He sucks.
I mean, yeah, I'm interception. I mean, yeah, he does, and it's just embarrassing. And I
know
felt
a lot
really bad. And Vrabel, saved his butt. Oh, it wasn't just a quarterback.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, I mean,
I know. I have a lot of Miami Dolphin fans. Friends, I should say, and they had to tolerate Tannehill for 6 seasons. He sucked every season in Miami. He still sucks. He's not a playoff guy.
wow.
Anyway. All right, to the news.
I feel bad for Josh Allen. I do too.
To the news we go.
Josh, there's always next year.
The conga line to replace Jim Langevin in Congress. So the Democrats, the Democratic conga line, it's getting bigger and bigger each and every day, isn't it? Each and every day.
I'd love to see you do that little dance.
That was Ricky Ricardo.
Yeah.
Babaloo. My name is Cuban Pete.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Now we're talking Dr. Alexander Scott, who
Yes.
recently said no mas when it comes to being the health director here in Rhode Island. And by the way, almost her entire staff is exiting too as we speak. Now she's meeting with her people? Is that what we're hearing?
She is. She's huddling. Channel 12 broke the news today at noon.
Okay.
Yes.
So she's huddling.
Yeah.
So Langevin was in place for 37 years. That's amazing.
Yeah,
and
that ain't right.
Well,
I'm all about term limits.
I'm all
people.
about term limits.
Term limits.
Every office.
I mean, yes.
Every office
yes.
from the Supreme Court right down. Let the babies drink the milk.
Well,
Fresh meat.
what's the term for the Supreme Court then?
Lifetime.
Yeah, well, I know now, but you said you want term limits on that.
2 weeks. Revolving door. No, I'm kidding. But I mean,
can't go through a Brett Kavanaugh thing, every 2 years.
Yeah,
That's too intense.
To
People are
me,
nuts.
to me, for life is as absurd as all you can eat. It just doesn't. It doesn't make any sense that these people can have these terms for life. It's insipid. But anyway, so now the conga line.
Insipid. I guess that's the word of the day.
Insipid. 37 years for Langevin. That's an interesting, interesting place. Now we brought up the name of Raimondo. I threw that out to some of my friends, and they were like, "Forget about it."
Yeah, really.
You know why? You know what it is? If she's going to run for anything, she's going to run for Senate because she would much rather be one of the 100 than one of the 450.
Oh, sure.
You know what I'm saying? So.
Oh, she's gunning for high office. Make no mistake.
Yeah, so that name, forget about that name, forget
Yeah.
about Shikarchi. He said he's not running. It's going to be really interesting to see how many of these Democratic candidates who have declared that they're running for governor all of a sudden soften up and say, upon further review, we'll keep it with the NFL playoffs. Upon further review, I've heard from so many people who say to me, maybe you can better serve the state of Rhode Island in Congress. You know what I'm saying, right? But as far as the Republicans, who's it going to be? Alan Fung. Alan Fung's he's got the name recognition. He's a moderate Republican. And that's what that district likes. It leans a little bit more conservative than the first district.
But
so
do you really
interesting names.
All right, here's the thing. I think people are now afraid of the word moderate. When you say you're a moderate Republican, you're a moderate Democrat, people don't believe you. But look what the highest. Look what the president did in the highest sitting office. He ran as a moderate. I'm going to unify. I mean, they all kind of say that. And now his own party. Just today, I was reading all kinds of news stories, and I mean, Chuck Todd is turning on him.
Hello, Todd.
Yeah, I mean, Wall Street Journal folks are turning on him, and they're all beside people in his own party, the black community. They're starting to stray.
Oh, he's losing big numbers in the black community.
Well, because he's not a moderate, and he's not reaching across the aisle. He's just basically, and then turns his back on the pressers and shuffles off.
Shuffle is the key phrase, too. I'll tell you what you don't want to do today is look at your 401k. Hoochie mama.
Well, yeah, the Dow is down.
Down?
Well, I'm trying to be...
Woo.
I'm trying to
Talk
assuage
about
your fears.
trying to turn that frown upside down. That's next to impossible.
Well,
today.
you know what else I wouldn't do? Somebody better grab the hotline from Biden when he's talking to the folks, reference Ukraine.
Oh, goodness.
Because, this situation is so serious. And I know everybody goes about their daily business and you kind of, you're just doing your thing and you're hoping they fix it all and maintain. But, I mean, basically what's happening is he's poking the bear. He knows that the United States is not in the greatest of spaces right now, I guess politically and economically, and he's poking the bear.
Yep.
He's poking the bear. How far can he go? And it worries me, but I mean,
You
know?
want to? You think you're paying a lot of money for gas now?
I know, Ron. I know.
Oh.
You think you're paying a lot for meat? How about pizza? Oh my God.
Yeah, what's that place you talked to me about? That they only do
Oh.
what, 25 or 30 orders a day?
Guys, this is so crazy. It's super top secret. Well, it's not top secret. It's exclusive. And so you have to find them. It's Hotline Pizza.
Where is it?
It's in Providence.
Okay.
And you order via direct message on Instagram, and they only take 30 to 40 orders a day, and you have to send your order in at 1 p.m. Holy smokes, does that pizza look good? I'm gunning for one next.
Oh,
next
you haven't had it.
No,
You're
I've
looking,
seen the
okay.
pictures.
You're trying to get on that list.
Yeah, I want to be on. I want to push past the velvet rope, yo.
Okay. All right.
I want some pizza.
Let's talk booze for a
All
couple
right,
of
let's talk
seconds here.
booze.
Nips.
Expert over here.
Nips are much in the news because a representative from a Democrat out of Warwick, Representative David Bennett, not a doctor, I don't know why I just said that, but Representative David Bennett, I don't think he's a doctor, he's proposing that the General Assembly make it illegal to sell those little miniature bottles of alcohol that they call nips.
Yeah.
Because of the litter. Well, first of all, here's two reasons why it won't work. Because people will just go across the line to Massachusetts to buy them and screw local business people here in the state of Rhode Island. And number two is it just doesn't make any sense, quite frankly. I saw a Facebook post. You'll love this. Talk about painting with a broad brush. Somebody put up, get rid of nips, outlaw them, because the only people who buy them are alcoholics.
Well, hey. As a former alcoholic, I can tell you. Let me tell you how this goes. Yes, but you're sitting next to a former drinker, a heavy drinker, and let me tell you how this is how it happens. You walk into a store and you say, "Yo, can I get 5 nips absolute?" So he puts them in the bag. Off you go. Red Nose puts them in the bag. You get in your car. So you're sitting in traffic, and you're getting home, but you want a little pick me up. You want a little buzz. You want to feel a little good. So you do the, you pretend you're going in your glove compartment.
That's what this guy says.
So the nips now. But what if you got into a fender bender? What if somebody tapped you? What if the popo had to come? Because so here's why they're all over the road. When you toss the evidence right out the window.
Yeah.
Right out the window. That's what I used to do.
Yeah, but for someone to make that broad brush comment, the only people who buy them are alcoholics. What an asinine thing to say.
But who
So I
drinks
guess
nips?
that makes me an alcoholic.
You don't drink nips.
I guess that makes me. I buy them.
You do?
I buy them absolutely.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Because I cook.
Oh, well, that's
I
different.
cook. Well,
Oh,
no,
well.
that's
Well,
my.
that's a solid point.
That's
I'll
my
give that to you.
argument.
Yeah, I'll
it's
give
like
that to
I'm
you.
not going to go out and buy a quart, or a pint of whatever because I need, a tablespoon of rum or something in a recipe. I'm going to buy the nip
Well,
because
that
it's
is true.
affordable.
That's
So
true.
don't paint that. I mean, what a stupid thing for somebody to say.
How about mostly?
The only people. It's like, let me tell you something.
How about mostly
You know,
drunks drinking?
So you do this little thing. How about people How about people who are doing this thing with their travel mugs that are filled with margaritas?
Forget that. How
come
about
on.
people doing this?
Yeah.
Because everybody's smoking weed, folks.
Oh no, they're not. No.
Everybody and their grandma is smoking weed.
But we're sticking with
True.
booze for this, because now. What about legalizing happy hour here in the Ocean State? Did you know that happy hour is not legal in the Ocean State?
I didn't.
Yes,
Why?
we are one of 8 states.
Why?
Well, because
I know why. People get hammered and then they drive.
No, actually, you know what it was? It was actually a representative from where you were born and raised, who actually had this piece of legislation passed years ago.
Who's that?
Charlie Baldelli.
Oh.
It was Charles Baldelli who
What
got
was
this
it?
thing
Why?
passed back in the 80s.
But why?
Why did Rhode Island ban happy hour? Rhode Island's ban on happy hour
Mr.
dates back
Baldelli.
to
He's still
1985.
alive, folks.
Really? Okay. When lawmakers nationwide were facing pressure to crack down on drunk driving.
Yeah, right. Well, there it is.
So that's it. The bill's sponsor was State Rep Charles Baldelli of Woonsocket at the time. But we're only one of 8 states who don't let this happen.
Yeah, but in the 80s, here's what was going down at happy hour. You kick back a few, but it was mostly... That's what was going on. And so it's true. And when you snort the cocaine and you have the alcohol, then you're going to get into an accident.
In all of the
Listen.
times I frequented a happy hour at a TGI Fridays or whatever,
You
I
never-
never saw anybody doing lines at the table next to me. What are you,
Snorting right
crazy?
off the table.
You've been watching too much television.
Listen, I lived it.
You've been watching too much.
I don't know what you did. That's what I did.
You've been
during
watching.
happy hours.
You've been watching way.
I had my fake ID.
You had a happy hour.
I did.
All right, that's what I got for. That's what I got for Newswise.
I had almost 40 years of a happy hour.
Yeah, that's what I got Newswise, and we can turn over to Jen's news now.
Hey.
Have you gotten a hold of your xylophone yet?
No, I'm
Because that's
working
what you
on it.
want.
I'm working on it. But today's Jen's News is brought to you by Jimmy Durante and Inca Dinka Doo.
That was his theme song.
It was.
A dink a dink, a dink a dink a dink a doo, a ink a dink a dink, a dink a doo. He's an enigma to me, Jimmy Durante.
Yeah,
I just could
big,
never,
big
I could
nose.
never figure out the guy's appeal. But I mean, that's eons ago. He started in vaudeville. But,
Yeah, well,
so anyway,
vaudeville,
there it
you know.
is, my CD, the greatest hits of Jimmy Durante.
Jimmy Durante. So there, that was my theme song today. Jen's News is brought to you by Jimmy
By
Durante.
ink a
One more
dink a
time.
doo, a dink a doo, a dink a doo, a dink a dink a dink a dink a doo. The
Boom.
best song on that CD is you got to start every day with a song.
The
because,
best song?
You know, it's not a great song, but it's certainly
You
a
gotta
great.
start every day with a song.
Might not be a good song, but it's a great mantra.
Yeah,
Start
no,
every
it
day
is.
with a song.
I do agree.
All right.
I do agree. Well, how about this? All right, we didn't get blown up. I put that story, by the way, about the asteroid coming 1,000,000 miles past Earth, and people laughed at me. I didn't want you guys to worry about
It's a close
it.
call.
I just provide the info
That's it.
for you.
That's
You decide how you want to go about your business. More info. NASA discovers unusual black hole that's creating star formations instead of destroying them.
Oh.
NASA says they have discovered this black hole that's doing this. And normally black holes, they tear apart stars. That's what they're known for. And they consume anything that comes too close. However, NASA's Hubble Space Telescope discovered a black hole that fosters rather than suppresses star formations. This phenomenon is happening in the dwarf galaxy Henize 210, which is 30 million light years away.
God bless you.
Yeah, and they say that they don't really know why this is happening. Could it be aliens?
Could be.
They talked about that on Coast to Coast.
Could be.
Could be alien stuff going on out there.
Okay.
Maybe they're getting ready. I don't know
Get
for
ready
what.
to probe us.
Yeah, I can. Then speaking of probe, you see what China's doing? We can throw this in the Jen's News.
butt
China,
swabs.
Yes. China, folks, has when you think nose swabs were bad and you think maybe mouth swabs are bad. In China, they brought back the butt swabs. They literally stick a huge Q-tip like that right up your keister to see if you have COVID or not.
Wrecked
So,
them.
yeah.
Damn near killed them.
Rectal tests. When you go to and they're doing this 2 weeks, well now a week before the Olympics are set to start.
They
want-
claim that they're much more accurate than
Well,
doing
yeah.
the swabs in the nose.
Yeah, because I mean a lot is more accurate when you deal with your bum, like thermometer, like temperature and
As
stuff.
Kevin Meaney said, doing it in the butt, that's not right.
Yeah, wow. I always wonder why my mom used to put the thermometer in my butt when I was really sick as a kid.
I would have put it in your mouth just to shut you up.
I hated that. Well, you cannot. It's just impossible. Americans are not seeing themselves. We don't see ourselves as fat. Over a third of Americans are considering themselves. Americans? No, they're not. They don't. Over a third of Americans don't consider themselves overweight. According to data from the last 5 years collected during Gallup's annual health and healthcare poll, 41% of Americans think they're overweight. That is up. But most people, over 50%, say, hey, I'm not fat. I'm not fat or obese, and I eat a lot, and, they consider their weight just to be about right.
Now,
I would-
I'm overweight, but I'm not obese. I can lose like 15, 20 pounds.
Well, I think everybody could.
Yeah, not
know?
you. You're
So,
stick.
well, yeah. I mean, hey, right now. A Christmas Story.
Oh,
folks.
lastly.
And, yeah, he's winding it up.
No, in Jen's News, lastly.
Yeah, lastly, A Christmas Story sequel with the original kid there. Peter Billingsley. Ralphie, that's right. I forgot his name for a minute. How could you? Legendary and Warner Brothers, they're both getting together to make a sequel to A Christmas Story, and they're working on money right now for Peter Billingsley. He's going to come back. And Vince Vaughn's going to be in this. It's going to be on HBO Max, right? And the premise is that it will be set in the 1970s. Adult Ralphie is going to return to the house to give his kids a Christmas like the one he had growing up. I know that his dad has passed, but
Melinda Dillon is still alive.
Is still alive. I wonder
Yes.
if she's going to make a.
I want to know. She's up there.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe Scud Farkas will be back. He had yellow eyes, you know.
Yeah, all the kids are alive.
He had yellow eyes.
Yeah, so production on A Christmas Story is set to start next month in Hungary.
Hungary, of all
I
places.
know. Maybe it's cheap there. Maybe
And Peter Billingsley went on to have a very successful career as a producer, by the way. That's what he did after he was a child
he was
star.
an elf, you know.
Yes, I know.
Yes.
So anyway, Jen got me this for Christmas several years ago. Red Ryder, with the carbine.
Shoot your eye
action.
out, kid.
And it's actually in there.
Yeah.
So I've never loaded it up, but the way things are going, who knows?
I think it doesn't hurt to have Red Rider on.
I'll keep my eye on Putin, and
Yeah.
we'll see what happens.
Well, there you go. That's what's
Jen's
happening
news. All right.
in Jen's news.
Before we turn to either food or fur, whatever you want to wrap it up with, when this drops on a Wednesday, we're going to know whether or not David Ortiz made the Hall of Fame. And that's going to happen on Tuesday of this week.
He should.
And he should. But
Yeah.
my question to you is, do you think he will? He needs 75% of the vote to make the Hall of Fame. Right now, he's at 84% of the vote with 168 known ballots. But the ballots that come back this early usually come back from the hipsters, the younger folks. It's the older writers and correspondents who are probably going to say, no, he's got that smudge where he's sort of tested positive for PEDs. I don't know.
I think he'll make it.
I think if he makes it, it's going to make it by the skin of his teeth.
I do. I think David Ortiz. I think that's going to happen.
I think he deserves it.
But what do I know?
But I think he'll be the only. Player chosen by the writers. These old time committees. There are other guys that are going to go
What
in.
about him getting shot in that whole thing? Do you think that's going to matter?
No,
Maybe he was
no.
involved in some shenanigans.
No,
in
I
the
don't think so.
Dominican Republic,
I think the only way he gets snubbed is if the older writers say, it's questionable. What did he do? Did he do performance enhancements? Boston sports writer Dan Shaughnessy, he didn't vote for Ortiz.
Yeah.
A Boston sports writer did, and Ortiz was on a local radio station, called him an a-hole live on the air.
Maybe they didn't have a good relationship.
Okay, I'll leave you with this.
The years that he was in Boston.
That's true.
Maybe
That's
it was,
true. That's the way it works.
Yeah.
If you piss the writers off, those
Yeah.
are the ones who vote you in.
Yeah.
And lastly, we'll stick with halls of fame.
Yeah.
Does Meatloaf belong in the Rock and Roll Radio Hall of Fame? You think so?
Absolutely.
Meatloaf in the Rock and Roll Hall of
Pat
Fame?
Benatar.
I thought Benatar got in this year.
Oh, did she get in this
maybe.
year? It's been
Maybe.
why just this year? That woman's amazing. But yeah,
So
I
you
think
think
Meatloaf definitely.
really not for his body of work, but because of how many records he sold, perhaps? Because his stuff is.
Yeah, but it transcends time. I mean, you could put Dashboard. You could put Paradise by the Dashboard Light on today, and this gen would rock.
Well, they used it as a sweeper going out into a break in the football game.
They did.
yesterday.
I mean, I think when music transcends decades and time.
Okay, that's fair.
I think that's what makes it so special.
All right, so God rest. Meatloaf has gone to his great
Hope
reward.
you made it, brother.
And at the same time,
Otherwise, bat out of hell. That's eternity's a long time, sucker.
and then you had
Just saying.
boy, what a month it's been for well-known people
People
checking
are
out.
dropping dead.
Louis Anderson checked out, 68.
What's his face? Bob
Saget,
that dude on Fuller House.
Betty White, of course.
Betty White,
I mean, 100 years old, 99 years old. So anyway, that's what I've got, and you can take us out with either a food story or a.
Well, I'm gonna go with this one.
You're not gonna go with Coca-Cola?
You want me to go with Coca-Cola?
Only because we talked about that beverage.
Sure.
Remember? We talked about this beverage that you couldn't remember.
Yeah. Am I allowed to say that on the news?
Of course.
I mean,
it was
okay.
that was an actual soda made
There was
by
a
Coca-Cola.
soda named Simba.
Simba.
And yeah.
Look at what the tagline was.
If I get doxxed because of this, I'm gonna be mad. Well, I didn't make it. It just Simba was a soda that they made years ago, and the tagline was "It conquers the African thirst."
It was the stupidest commercial I've ever seen. It's still up
What
on
does that even mean?
It's still up on YouTube. They talk about, when you're out.
So when you're out in Africa,
Yeah.
and so you're in the jungle,
Yes.
and you got a soda.
You got to get a soda.
It's gonna be scalding hot,
Right.
but you're gonna be fine because you got your Simba soda.
And what does it do? It
conquers
the African thirst.
African thirst.
So if you want to do your Lucky Charms
Sure.
story now.
All right.
I just wanted to hit on Simba.
Okay, is it still available?
No, they don't.
Are
make
you
it anymore.
sure?
No,
Let's look that up. I'm gonna look that up. I don't believe it.
It is. It's probably flat. But
Well, Coca-Cola is introducing canned cocktails. How about this? The boozy beverage, a business, keeps getting bigger thanks to the popularity of hard seltzers. And now Coca-Cola wants to get in on some of the action. So what they're doing is they just announced they'll be launching a line of Fresca canned cocktails named Fresca Mixed. The non-alcoholic Fresca is a no-calorie grapefruit and citrus. I love Fresca, by the way. Soda, which is currently the fastest-growing drink in the company's portfolio. So what they're doing is they're adding, I guess, some. It doesn't even say what they're adding, what kind of booze. It just says full-flavored, spirit-based, ready-to-drink cocktail. So what's in it then? Like, what kind of booze is in a hard drink?
Well, what would be in Fresca? Would be probably vodka or...
Yeah, but it doesn't... I'm surprised. Right? Yeah, this would be Coca-Cola's third entry into alcoholic beverages. In Japan, they have a lemon dew can cocktail, and last year they introduced a hard seltzer in the U.S. But yeah, but it doesn't say Fresca, so it's okay, it's a cocktail, but what's in it?
Maybe Simba's in it.
Yeah, maybe.
Because it conquers the African thirst. Be nice to each other. Hey, don't forget, coming up, circle your calendar, February 19th. We're back on the radio on WADK and on WADK.com.
We're coming for you.
You'll find a smile will go a long, long way.